What's going on YouTube? So there are few SUVs with such a legendary reputation as the Toyota 4Runner, and it is finally all new. That's right, we are standing next to the next generation 2025 4Runner, which is promising to modernize the classic 4Runner formula. So has Toyota succeeded? Well, let's go ahead and take a detailed first look to find out. Now, the first place to start off with is the exterior design. And here in person, I have to say, I think Toyota really nailed this exterior look. It's a very handsome looking SUV. And obviously, as you can probably tell, it is going to be influenced by the Tacoma. Toyota actually says the 4Runner and Tacoma were designed side by side, and you will see that in the overall appearance. Now, this is the TRD Pro, so this is obviously a very off-road focused version. We've got the classic Toyota Heritage grille up here in the front. You've got this thick, meaty bumper that surrounds through here. Nice gloss black finish down here in our lower bumper. And then integrated inside of it, we actually have our Rigid Industry LED fog lamps. Now, speaking of lighting, we do of course have full LED headlights. Again, this is very Tacoma-like design, but completely modern with the daytime running light and turn signal indicator located right there. In terms of ground clearance, we do have 9 inches of ground clearance, and then many of the models, especially the off-road focused ones, are going to give you the availability of getting the real metal skid plate as well as the rock rails on the side. Taking a look at our wheels, obviously we do have the TRD Pro design on board. We have very thick, meaty 33-inch all-terrain tires wrapped around it. Everything's going to be, of course, off-road focused because this is the TRD Pro, which you have branding up here at the top as well as that really nice-looking hood scoop up on the top. And in terms of our mirrors, they are going to be loaded with all the features you'd expect for a pretty expensive SUV.
Now here at the side, this vehicle comes in at 194.9 inches long. And if you're curious as to how that fits in terms of the Land Cruiser, it's about an inch longer actually than the bigger brother Toyota Land Cruiser. It does still ride on that truck platform though, of course, to give you that off-road capability. And heading around to the rear design of this all-new 4Runner, I have to say this is an absolutely stunning vehicle. Toyota really nailed it when it came to the design to give you all the modern elements that you're looking for, but also spice it up quite a lot. So in terms of things I want to talk about, I do want to just go ahead and mention this since a lot of 4Runner owners are going to be very happy to know that the window does still remain that roll down ability, so you can actually fully roll down the window. You use these buttons right here to do that. And then we also have this big beefy Toyota piece in the middle. As far as our taillights are concerned, it's actually going to have a very similar shape to the previous Gen 4Runner, but it has a new modern LED design to it. Dropping down below, we have TRD Pro branding, and then in this lower area, we do have no exposed exhaust outlets. There is an exhaust outlet here on the left side, and we also have that spare tire sitting underneath. As far as your tow rating, it's going to come in at 6,000 pounds. Now, in terms of your safety systems, you are going to have all 4 active safety features as standard equipment on the 4Runner model. They're also adding a proactive driving assist function, which is a new feature for this 4Runner. But guys, that wraps up the really bold and cool exterior design. There is a ton to show you on the inside though, so let's go ahead and dive into that. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
All right, now it's time to check out the interior. One of the new things, of course, is that we now have standard smart entry across all the trim levels. Let's get this door open here and take a look at the interior. So the big news, of course, is that the previous generation, being 15 years old, was obviously quite out of date in terms of technology. Big tech improvements, but also we have a lot of cool design elements as well. Let's talk a little bit about the seats first of all. As you can see with our TRD Pro model, we've got a nice looking leather seat. We have a white perforation down in the back part of it to give you that cool pattern and some nice color contrast stitching details running throughout. Highly adjustable seats with 4-way lumbar support as well. And we do have the aluminum pedals and memory seats located there on the door trim. But let's go ahead and get fully inside and take a look at all the details. Now, as I was mentioning with the exterior, again, this was designed at the same time as the Tacoma, so you are going to notice some similarities with the overall design to that model. So let's start out over here with our door trim. We have a leather wrapped area through here as well as the center, and a nice big pad up here, because I know a lot of 4Runner buyers like to put their arms up here and hang them out the window. You can definitely do that with this new generation. And we got this cool kind of handlebar design, which you see right here, as well as over here on the passenger side. So there's plenty of places for your passenger to grip on when you're going off-roading in this machine. Now, in terms of our upper dashboard, this is a hard touch plastic. This is a pre-production model, so some of this is subject to change. We have a faux carbon fiber through here with our Toyota Heritage branding and a nice leather pad over our glove box cover. Now, we've already have it fired up, so let's go ahead and dig into some of those details, including our digital gauge cluster. As you can see, we've got the premium 12.3-inch digital cluster on this model. This does have reconfigurable graphics. You have the TRD with the red branding there as well. And in terms of the steering wheel, nice meaty look to the steering wheel. I love the way that Toyota has designed these steering wheels on their most recent trucks. It has perforated leather on the outside edges and a nice red accent at the top. The wheel itself is power adjusting because this is on the upper end of the trim structure, and then we also do have steering wheel heating as well. Now, in terms of storage, let's open up our console here. This is decently sized. It's not too deep though. It's just kind of a regular size, like I was saying, very similar to the Tacoma. Square cup holders there. Big storage cubby right there. You have your vertical stand-up wireless phone charging pad, and then another little area here where you could plug into these fast charging USB-C ports. In terms of our shifter, nice meaty traditional shifter, not electronic or anything like that. You can shift manually like so. And when you go into reverse, there's our 360-degree camera system. Now, this is obviously the off-road trim level, so what's important about this is that this gives you additional functionality with your 360 camera. So, as you can see, we've got a lot of different buttons down here. These are things where we can line up a trailer, where we can kind of move around the vehicle and get a full around look, and we can also toggle that on. And that gives us basically our trail camera. So when we're off-road, we can see the sides to make sure we're not scraping against things. And you can see both the front and rear as well as how much angle you are at as you're going off-road. Now down in the center section, obviously we are going to find a lot of controls for our four-wheel drive system. You've got a ton of different drive modes and things that you can activate that can help you off-road. We look forward to testing that out in the future when we get to take this off-road. And then, of course, those are some more of your things, including your disconnecting sway bar in the back. In terms of our climate controls, two-zone automatic climate control, which you can locate with this big, nice knob there. We do also have heated and ventilated seats and a nice meaty knob there to control our available JBL sound system. Now, taking a look at the display, big display. It was completely different from the last gen because it was so tiny. Now it is huge 14-inch display. It's actually bigger than the Land Cruiser. Latest and greatest Toyota software, wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay. Up top, we've got the auto dim mirror with the digital camera system. And then we have a traditional size sunroof.
Now that we're in the rear seats, let's go ahead and talk about this space. Now, of course, this is very early. This is right after the 4Runner was completely unveiled, so we don't have all the official details just yet. This vehicle is slotted to go on sale fall of this year, so it's going to have more details come later, so we don't have official legroom and headroom figures. However, I can say for someone who's 5'9" like myself, there's plenty of room when it comes to headroom and legroom. You're going to be quite comfortable overall. I would expect it to also be very similar to the Lexus GX in terms of space. Now here in the center we do have vents, which is quite nice. We also have 2 charging USB ports and a household style outlet. I do not see any heated rear seats on this 4Runner, so I'm not sure if that will be an available feature. It's at least not on the TRD Pro. And another thing that's not on the TRD Pro that is on the TRD Pro Tacoma is the really cool seat design. So you're just going to have a more traditional seat here in the 4Runner. If we fold down the armrest, we do have 2 cup holders inside. The door trim is going to be made of nice materials, as you would expect. And we even have a little cup holder right in front of the window switch, which I think will be very useful. Now, one of the cool things about this all-new 4Runner is that we do have a power tailgate. Of course, like I also mentioned earlier, you retain the power glass as well. So very happy to see that they're keeping those traditional 4Runner elements despite going to the all-new model. And then as far as the space is concerned back here, once again, we don't have the official specs and figures yet. That will come later when this vehicle is slotted to go on sale. However, I'll just go ahead and insert the cargo figures from the Lexus GX to give you a reference point that will be very similar to this. I also want to point out that you will notice that we do not have a third row on this model. However, it is available. Toyota has confirmed that there will be a third row option here on the 4Runner. It's unclear what trim levels will have it. However, we are expecting it to only be available on the gasoline option, not the hybrid version. Now, if we lift up the floor, it just kind of comes apart like that. You do have a little bit of space, and I think you also have additional space up in front of that. We also have a household style outlet. And overall, that's going to be it for the practicality of this vehicle. Let's go ahead and talk about the powertrain of it, because there's some exciting stuff going on.
And now let's go ahead and talk about what you'll find under the hood of this next generation 4Runner. Now, as expected, the V6 options are eliminated this year. Just like with the Tacoma, we've now moved to iForce powertrain. So you have the regular iForce 4-cylinder, which is a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. And we also have the iForce Max Hybrid. That model is using a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with the battery electric componentry to make a hybrid system. Altogether, that model is going to be making significantly more horsepower and makes this the most powerful 4Runner that has ever been made. To be exact, that's 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque, and that will be optional on TRD Off-Road and limited standard on TRD Pro, Trail Hunter, and Platinum. We also have an 8-speed automatic transmission, and I do want to tell you guys that no manual transmission will be offered. So unlike the Tacoma, this one will not be offering a manual transmission. Now, obviously, you do have both 4x2 and 4x4 options, as well as many, special off-road capable features, which I mentioned at the interior. Now, in terms of fuel economy, the current generation sets at a pretty bad 17 miles per gallon combined. We are hoping that with this new generation, we should get into the mid-20 MPGs combined, just like we get with the Tacoma.
And lastly, let's talk about pricing. There is no official pricing yet, but we're going to go ahead and estimate official pricing from Car Confections. 42 to 60 is the range that we think this 4Runner will sit at in terms of pricing. That's going to represent a little bit of a premium over the previous generation, as you might expect. And if you're looking to buy a car, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes, because on our website, we have a tool that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price on your new vehicle. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and there's a pinned comment at the top of this video. As far as availability, like I mentioned earlier, this vehicle is slotted to go on sale in fall of 2024, so you won't have to wait too much longer if you want to buy one of these 4Runners, but it's not going to be on sale in the next month or two. But guys, that's going to be it for our first look review of the all-new 2025 Toyota 4Runner. Now, of course, stay tuned to the channel if you want to learn more about this Toyota 4Runner. We'll be covering it a lot more times. Unfortunately, today we only had about a 20-minute time slot, so we can't go into all those nitty-gritty details. So if you want to learn more about it, hit that subscribe button down below. I promise we'll be talking a lot more about this vehicle. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.